Hey, what's up guys? My name is Michael Westbrook. As always, thank you for checking out this video. If you've seen some of my stuff in the past, then you might know that I love playing slide guitar, and then even more recently, I really dove into playing more lap steel. I also spend a lot of time on the road playing pedal steel and dobro. Now, all of these instruments have something in common, and that's that they're played with a bar or a slide. I think one of the hardest things about playing an instrument this way is your tuning. To play in tune and play in tune with a band can be really tough because just the slightest movement up or down can cause your notes to be sharp or flat. So it takes a lot of work, a lot of practice to work on your intonation or playing in tune. I recently took a lesson with a great lap steel player named Kevin Barry, and I asked him about working on my intonation, working on playing in tune, and he recommended practicing and playing with drones. Now, by drones, I mean just a single note that's held out. So it just might be, the note of an E, and I'm playing in the key of E, whether it's major or minor. You could play in any mode of E, but that kind of serves as your true north, right? It serves as kind of that center point for your tuning, and that way you can listen to what it sounds like, feel what it sounds like on your instrument, and make sure that you are practicing in tune and playing in tune. Now, there are a couple ways that you can practice with drones. One being, like in the clip you just heard, just kind of improvising, just kind of free-flowing in that key. In that clip, I was kind of going between an E major and, kind of E mixolydian, kind of bluesier type sound. But that's a nice thing about kind of improvising over these drones is you have the freedom to kind of go and do whatever you want to. The main focus is just playing those ideas, playing what you're doing in tune with that drone. Now, another thing that you can practice over these drones is scales or even chord scales, playing arpeggios. So if we were in the key of E, we could play, an E major triad and then an F minor triad, G sharp minor triad, A triad, B triad, etc. Playing scales and these chord scales over these drones is also a great way to learn a new tuning. Now, the previous example you heard was all in standard tuning. I'm just playing slide and standard. But say you want to learn or explore an open E tuning or an open D, open G. There are a lot of others that you could, begin to explore. But this is a great way to learn the fretboard, learn where the notes are. But then again, you're also working on tuning. You're working on your ear, what that sounds and feels like. Obviously, this can apply to a lot of different instruments, kind of focusing on, guitar-related instruments here, but it kind of comes from the classical world, I believe. I believe string players, cello players or violin players have done this for years where they play to a drone just to practice their intonation, practice their tuning. Even though it's something that I think is fairly common in the classical world, it's not something that I'd ever heard guitar players talk about. And I found it super helpful for working on my intonation, but then also just being interesting, an interesting way to practice. It's kind of a little more fun than just running scales or, practicing with a tuner with my slide. That's gonna do it for this one. I know this video is a little shorter than I normally do, but I didn't want to drag it out. I think that practicing with drones is super easy to understand, especially when it comes to working on your intonation for slide guitar playing. I'm going to include some links down below that has some links to some great drones that I've been working with a lot, as well as some cello drones, which a lot of people enjoy. Both of those are great things to practice to, and they have them in all, I think the cello drones and the more ambient drones that I'll link to are in, you know, all the keys, you know, all 12 notes there. So that'll give you flexibility to practice in a lot of different keys and kind of experiment with yourself and see how it helps you. As always, thank you for checking out this video, and until next time, I'll see you out there.